So before I begin this review of March Comes In Like a Lion, I want to offer my apologies for the delay in this video and also my two other videos I was going to upload today, Demi-chan and Ruby. I wanted to get these videos up early today, but when I was trying to work on my Tokyo Ghoul, re-video, my computer was crashing constantly, and since it was crashing constantly, I couldn't work on the other videos, and so I'm now finally able to sit down and record this video after finally uploading the Tokyo Ghoul video. So I'm very sorry for the delay in these videos today, for instance of, Demi-chan, March Comes In Like a Lion, and also Ruby. So if you've been waiting for a while, I just want to say I'm very sorry. So with that being said, let's talk about this episode of March Comes In Like a Lion. Okay, so this episode really surprised me with the direction it took. Because these last few episodes have been trying to build up Goto and Rei's match. That's what the past couple episodes have been trying to do. We know that Rei has some beef with Goto, Goto has some beef with Rei. And, Goto, he's kind of like that big villain of this arc, or the story right now, because of what he did to Rei in the past. And this episode takes a very surprising turn. Rei falls down the stairs before he even manages to reach to Goto. Before the starting point even begins for the match between Goto and Rei already fell. He didn't even make it to fight Goto at all in the match with Shogi. And it's not often that a series will go down this path. They will, make a main male character fail right before building up something for the past couple episodes or maybe chapters. It's something that really took me by surprise, and I was actually very satisfied by the outcome of this episode, because one of the big things about this episode that we can, take from it is that Rei, he didn't really think about the opponent before him. He was too focused on what was after him. He didn't think about what was already in front of him. And there's a saying from one of my personal favorite series, Vagabond, and I want to do a quote from it. So, quote begins here. If you focus too much on the branch, you will not notice the tree. If you focus too much on the tree, you will not notice the forest. It's a very good quote, and I feel like that quote suits this episode quite a bit, because Rei, he was too focused on one certain thing, and he didn't see the bigger picture. He didn't really look at his opponent as an opponent. He was looking at the person after him. And so when he walked into that match, it was already over, because he didn't give the respect to his opponent like he should have since the very beginning. He was thinking about already winning, like everything was destined to, go in his favor, and then he was going to be focusing on Goto. But in reality, he should have spent more time focusing on everything else besides just one central focus, which was on Goto. And I love that development that Rei got. This is like a perfect turning point for his character to develop and mature in a way to where he realizes how he's been doing Shogi. He realizes that he can't just focus on one person. He needs to respect and look at everyone. I mean, even people that may not be the best players of Shogi, you still need to actually look into them and realize that they're opponents you need to face. You shouldn't focus on someone after him. You should focus on the person before you and then the one after. You shouldn't try to skip and, cut corners. You need to focus at everything and go down the proper order of things. And that's what Rei did not do, and he's learning that lesson quite hard throughout this episode. Now, speaking of learning his lesson, Rei's reaction is very human. It's a very human reaction, the way he reacted towards the loss. He states he realized now what he did wrong. He didn't focus too much on the player before him, and he was already looking after him, thinking he was already going to win, and it fucked him over. It was already a lost match right before it even began in the first place. And he realized he fucked up, and he ran away because he was embarrassed the way he acted. He acted very childish. He didn't respect his opponent, and so to get out of there quickly, he ran away. And a normal human reaction is if you're very uncomfortable with a situation, we tend to try to, get away from it. That's the normal reaction humans try to make. If you're uncomfortable, you're like, ooh, this is just not something I like. You tend to try to steer away from that. You try to get away as far as you can. And that's what Rei was trying to do. He was trying to get away because he was very uncomfortable. He was uneasy because, what happened. And when he finally got away, he was all alone. His world was black and white. And we do know how when he views the world, it's kind of different emotions. Like, for instance, he may not have emotions, or he might be very depressed. And in this case, he was very, very depressed. He went through his own issues of being very depressed. He wanted to do nothing but sleep. He didn't want to really eat or drink anything. And eventually that led it to where his health declined, which we saw in the episode. When he finally had to get back up and on his feet again, when he no longer could sleep anymore, he tried to eat, he tried to have something to drink, and he was, throwing it up. He couldn't keep it down. But at the same time, though, he was trying to realize, like, holy shit, I just can't even be depressed properly. I'm trying to be depressed, but now my body is all in this shape, and I just can't even do anything properly now. So, I mean, I love the direction of Ray's character in this episode. It's a very realistic depiction of how maybe some revenge plots are handled in real life, because I know all of us watch a lot of anime and probably, read a lot of manga, and even, watch live-action shows quite a bit, but not all revenge plots end up always, being actually legit. For instance, being confirmed that it's gonna happen. I mean, a lot of revenge that happens in, real life doesn't tend to actually come about at all. It doesn't actually happen because many things get destroyed before it even gets off the ground, and that's kind of what happened to Ray. He wasn't able to get, his revenge against Goto. He wasn't able to go up against him. He was completely crushed before he even got to the starting point, and I respect the writer for the direction of the series, especially with this episode. So yeah, this episode of March Comes In Like a Lion, personally one of my favorites of the series thus far, just because of Ray's character and what, it was trying to do with him. But on top of that, though, how he's trying to learn from his mistakes and also realize that he needs to keep his options open, especially with how he handles his high school and how he's still going there. And even though he's a shogi player, he's very gifted, he's keeping his options open for high school as well. I just love the direction of his character. I love how he's handling the situation around him, and I can't wait to see where the series goes after this point. So let me know your honest thoughts in the comments below. I love you all so much. Please be safe. Chibi out.